Trump's approval ratings are still up, despite the fact that the economy is right now struggling. Okay. People are being laid off. Yesterday was May Day. And look, I don't know how this whole tariff war is going to play out. I have no idea what's going to lie in store for all of us. But even now, as the economy and people being deported, Trump's approval rating is still higher than the Democrats. And the thing is, Democrats, look, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But if I had to give you like a little free advice, and if these organizations are consistent, first of all, David Hogg he's absolutely right, in my opinion, that the Democrats need to get rid of ineffective incumbents. To some extent, Cenk Uygur is right about rebellion pack, getting out these jagoff Democrats who don't know anything. And yes, to an extent, AOC and Bernie Sanders fight the oligarchy tour. Oh, can it rally a lot of people? But here's where my jaded side and my 8 years in the trenches in politics, covering politics, talking about politics comes out, because it's a fact. I am still looking at the grave of our revolution. Yes, Justice Democrats, brand new Congress, and even DSA, and how they tried and didn't put any effort in. Not try and fail, but didn't put any effort in to reform the Democrats. 8 years of nothing burgers. 8 years of saying, please wait. 8 years of keep our powder dry. Let's go ahead and pull up this video here.
Who would be doing a better job as president? Guess who comes out on top? Within the margin of error, comes out on top. This looks a lot like the election result, right? Trump 45%, 2 points ahead of Harris at 43%. 12% say they'd be doing about the same. But this is the key nugget here. It's not just about regretting that vote. It's literally saying who would be doing the better job right now. And Trump continues to score a higher percentage of the vote than Kamala Harris. This looks a heck of a lot like the election result. We have just seen this in poll after poll after poll. Despite the fact that Trump's favorable ratings aren't too hot to trot, when he's matched up against who he was matched up in 2024, he still, across the polls, scores a higher percentage than Kamala Harris does.
Even if they don't know exactly what she would have done, they still went for Donald Trump. Okay, what about when he's matched up against congressional Democrats who we know have had some pretty rough numbers?
Yeah, they have had some pretty rough numbers. So Kamala Harris obviously doesn't hold elected office right now, but Democrats in Congress sure do. So who do you trust more on the U.S. main problems, the main problems in the United States? Well, what do we have here? It's the same exact picture, folks. It's the same exact picture. When you match Donald Trump against his actual competition, Donald Trump comes out ahead. Look at this, 40% to congressional Democrats, 32%. Going to make a big circle here. But the bottom line is, when you look at Donald Trump in a vacuum, it's one thing. But when you actually match him up against folks in the real world, all of a sudden his numbers look considerably better. And when you match him up against his main competition at this point, Democrats in Congress, he is more trusted on the main problems facing the United States right now. In fact, it's not even close. It's an 8-point advantage, which in this politics, well, that's a wide ocean.
It's huge, and maybe tells the Democrats that their messaging is not working at this point in time. All right, speaking of the big issues.
Now, messaging. What is the Democrats' messaging? Oh, I know what it is. Does everybody want to know what it is? Impeach Trump. Impeach Trump, impeach Trump, impeach Trump. That's what the Democrats' messaging is. They have that as their main go-to button to rely on, to cause pain, to just constantly keep on telling people, that you got to trust them. But hey, wait. Here's where hotspot. This is where I love hotspot. Hotspot's the best spot. Hotspot's always been the best spot. Shout out to them. Maybe they should turn that into a t-shirt.
The polls this week showed Trump has the lowest 100-day approval rating since they started polling 80 years ago. The lowest. Yes.
There's a poll out today that has your approval rating lower than any other congressional leader at 17%. Are you concerned that you may be a liability for your party?
Polls come and go. Our party is united. We're on our front foot. We're stepping forward and going after Trump and having real success. The polls this.
All right, that's kind of funny. Your approval rating is lower than Donald Trump. I mean, case in point right here. Look. Trump, Democrats in Congress. Trump is still number one despite all of his stuff, despite his 100-day approval rating, still ahead of the Democrats. How bad are you at this? My goodness. Look, Brandon Johnson's more hated than Lori Lightfoot, but you know what? Hey, controversial statement here for Chicago's mayor. He's probably doing a better job than all the Democrats in Congress put together. And that says so much. Holy cow, buddies. Democrats, are you just this dumb and stupid? Do you really not have a plan at all? Are you really this incompetent? You can't be this dumb. I refuse to believe it. But then again, you know what? This whole month, all of April, and everything that I've seen these past years, nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing.
Real world, all of a sudden his numbers look considerably better. And when you match him up against his main competition at this point, Democrats in Congress, he is more trusted on the main problems facing the United States right now. In fact, it's not even close. It's an 8-point advantage, which in this politics, well, that's a wide ocean.
It's huge, and maybe tells the Democrats that their messaging is not working at this point in time. All right, speaking of the big issues, which party is better trusted when it comes to things like the economy and immigration still?
Right. Okay. So we kind of talk about it a little bit up here when we match up Donald Trump against the Democrats in Congress. But what about the parties up against each other, right? Donald Trump has not seen those favorable polls when it comes to the economy, when it comes to immigration. But look here, which party has a better plan? And this is the margin among registered voters. Look at this on immigration. The GOP crushes the Democrats. Look at that. That's a 19-point edge. My goodness gracious. You rarely ever see leads like that in politics.
I heard that. Don't use my... See, this is where I think some people watch Hardlin's media. Some people in corporate media, they do. And they're like, we got to suppress that Kit Cabela. But my goodness gracious, Cretaceous. That's what you're supposed to say. My goodness gracious, Cretaceous. I swear. I think there's people following me, man.
But look here, which party has a better plan? And this is the margin among registered voters. Look at this on immigration. The GOP crushes the Democrats. Look at that. That's a 19-point edge. My goodness gracious. You rarely ever see leads like that in politics these days. How about on the economy, where Donald Trump's numbers have been struggling a little bit? But even there, Republicans hold a 9-point lead. If Democrats think that at this particular point, just because Donald Trump is unpopular, that they're going to run away with it like a Heisman Trophy winner, that is not necessarily the case. These numbers should be a major wake-up call for Democrats. Despite Donald Trump's unpopularity in the polls, when you actually go up against him and you put Democrats' names against him, when you put Republicans as a whole up against him, Republicans and Donald Trump do considerably better. And that is why Democrats, in fact, cannot count their chickens just yet, because those eggs have not cracked at this particular moment.
And see, here's the thing. The Democrats do have an opportunity. They could, again, not trying to help them out, not trying to say anything, but here's the things that do work in their favor, but they won't take advantage of it because there's a lot of uncertainty here. And the Democrats also realize that their policies didn't help anybody out the last 4 years. Hey, these are UPS workers, right? And I know Due Dissidents talked about it. Keaton talked about his time as working with UPS as well. I used to work retail at Bed Bath & Beyond and at Costco. And I got to tell you, folks, a lot of these companies right now, they're going to be laying off people. They're going to be hurt. And a lot of people are going to be hurting. So United Parcel Service, UPS, expected to cut around 20,000 jobs in 2025 as part of a larger plan to reduce costs and increase profit, citing changes in the global trade policy and new or increased tariffs. The UPS announced the layoffs on Tuesday in its first quarter earnings report. The parcel delivery service said it made considerate revenues of $21.5 billion compared with $21.7 billion about the same time a year ago. Additionally, the company said it would be shutting 73 leased and owned buildings by the end of June of this year. You know what that means? People being angry, no food on the table, bills not being paid, people can't buy medicine, putting gas in their car. Do I need to go on? Do I need to state anything more further? Do I need to state anything that's going to really make our lives far more frightening right now? Because this is the nightmare. Now, the service has roughly around 490,000 employees, about 330,000 of whom are members of the Teamster Union. Last year, UPS said it cut its workforce by 12,000 jobs. In Tuesday's report, the company said it planned to make these latest reductions to its operational workforce or those who are directly involved in packaging, sorting, transport, and delivery. The job cuts come as Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs are discouraging some UPS customers from shipping as many goods, and Americans are anticipating continuous impact on U.S. and global trade. I just wanted to say something. Everybody who's watching this, thank you again. Representatives Republicans have a better plan on immigration. Democrats, wait, a plan is better than no plan. Wow, who would have thought of that? Exactly. Exactly, indeed. I also want to pull this up here as well. First of all, Democrats' newest strategy, it's the end of the world. Foman TV, thank you again for the super chat. Well, the Democrats don't have that plan. The Democrats can't offer anything. And as many people are saying right now, putting this article up here, almost half of the layoffs this year has been driven by Doge, D-O-G-E. Nearly half of all layoffs so far in 2025 have been driven by cuts related to the Department of Government Efficiency's Doge efforts to slash government funding and reduce the size of the federal workforce, according to a new report from outplacement firm Challenger, Gray, and Christmas. The report shows that Doge's actions led to 283,172 job cuts in the first 4 months of 2025. The Doge downstream impact was cited as the reason for another 6,945 job losses, which report indicates largely come from nonprofits and education organizations. Together, this accounts for 48% of all job cuts announced for so far for this year. The vast majority of job cuts related to Doge actions occurred in March, which saw 216,670 positions cut. Government job cuts last month also accounted for the vast majority of layoffs across all sectors, which totaled 275,240 in March. In April, job cuts attributed to Doge plummeted, with just 2,919 announced cuts attributed to the government cost-cutting initiative spearheaded by tech billionaire Elon Musk. So with all of this, the Democrats still struggle to get support. They can't get it as much. They don't have it. They don't got that dog in them anymore. And despite all these numbers, they still don't have the support. They still lack the effective plan to try and outmaneuver Trump. And the one thing that they're going to rely on is that hopefully the economy is so bad that they're going to be vilifying Trump. But instead of having their own economic plan, what they're going to do, what they are going to state, what they are going to bring forth, you better believe it, impeach Trump. Things will get better if we just impeach Trump. Okay, Democrats, listen, here's a little problem with your plan about impeaching Trump. If the Democrats were successful in getting the Senate and House, okay, because again, the House files the articles of impeachment. The Senate is the jury. And in a scenario, again, a potential scenario where the Democrats get the supermajority in the House and Senate, and they go through with the impeachment of Trump, take a wild freaking guess who's vice president, who's his vice president is. J.D. Vance. And that means then Democrats, you have to deal with a very angry and very vengeful J.D. Vance. And the thing is, if the House and Senate cannot or will not deliver a strong economic plan for the American people, guess what's going to happen to you guys in 2028? You are going to get steamrolled and embarrassed, no matter who you put up as a presidential candidate for 2028. Because impeachment, you know, all what it does, it's a legal process. And that process takes time. All the while, people are hungry and starving. All the while, people are wondering if they can make ends meet. And the thing is, we pulled up those polling numbers. Those are devastating polling numbers for Democrats. You don't have that fight in you anymore, Democrats. You can't afford a fight like this. You have to offer a plan, or you're facing extinction. And no one's going to want to bring you back. People want to see dire wolves and woolly mammoths. They don't want to see a political party that just constantly barks and hypes up things they want to do and then ask for money.